Peace and abundance, family. MJ the Mastermind here. And today I'm reading from the greatest book you never heard of. I've been reading such an amazing book. The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. King Solomon's Secrets to Success, Wealth, and Happiness. Such a great book. And today I'm going to be sharing one of the concepts that I've learned from this book. Now, if you don't know who King Solomon is, I'm sure a lot of you do. But for those who may not know, King Solomon is known as the wisest man who ever lived. You know, he is in the Bible. You know, an example of his wisdom is when these two women came to him and there was a child and he had to decipher whose child it was. And he said, you know, I'll give half of you each of the baby. I'm going to cut it in half and give half of you each of the baby. And one of the women started crying and panicking. And she said, well, just give it to her. I want the baby to live. And that's how he was able to determine who was the rightful mother. That's just one story. You know, he's also known for the book of Proverbs in the Bible. My favorite book as well. But there's a concept in this book that I've learned recently that is very, very important to know. And it's called the vision mapping process. And that's what I'm going to be going through today to help you guys, give you guys this valuable tool that you can implement to really help map out your vision, get clarity on what you want your life to look like. But not only that, the exact steps that you're going to use to get to where you want to go. Okay. So when it comes to the vision mapping process, one of the most important things is to break down your life first into, different categories. Okay. First, you want to break your life down, whether it's, finances, relationships, right? You want to break down these different categories that you want to improve in. Okay. Now, once you break down the categories, you want to get clear on what your biggest goal is in that category. Okay. Now, I'm bringing it up here so I can give you guys the exact step-by-step. Okay. And you want to actually write this down. All right. So it says, starting with your most important dream in any given area, write a clear and precise description of that dream. This description should be at least a sentence or two, but no more than a single page. If possible, try to draw or find a picture that provides you with an image or symbol of what fulfilling this dream might look like. Okay, that's the first step. And now the second step is to create a goals page for that specific dream, right? Now, to do this, state the dream at the top of the page, then make a list of the specific intermediate goals that need to be achieved to fulfill that dream. This step converts your dreams into specific goals. Okay, so now we're breaking it down. Now, create a page for each goal and label those pages goals to steps. On each page, list the intermediate goal you want to achieve. Then list the steps that you need to be taken to achieve that goal. All right. Next, take any complex step in your list of steps that requires the completion of more than one task and create a steps to task page. List the specific tasks that need to be completed to take that step. All right. Now, the last step is the final step in this process is to assign completion dates to each task and step. Once you've done that, you are ready to begin. Now you can work on achieving each goal one task or step at a time. Complete each step one by one until you have achieved your dream. Now, the last step is the completion dates, right? Which I think is very, very important, because a lot of times people don't put a date to when they have to complete certain goals, tasks, or different steps, like it says. And I think this really helps people that, have difficulty in clarifying what their vision is, right? Because now you could break it down step by step. Okay. So this is a very, practical tool that you can implement, immediately. All right. Now, vision is so important. I can't really stress how important vision is. Because a lot of people do have goals and some people don't, but what's more important is first having that vision, because your goals should be based on your vision. Okay. And when you have a vision, how I always say it is like the vision is the movie of your life and your goals are the scenes in that movie. Okay. But if you're just building these different scenes, it's hard to create a masterpiece, right? But when you have the ultimate vision, then you can start to reverse engineer it and compartmentalize the steps in that process. Okay. So I do recommend this book. Stephen Scott does a great job. I honestly haven't finished it yet, but I have gotten some value from it. And, this is just one of those things that, you could really implement practically. Right. Now, a lot of people are going to say, do you have to really write this out? And I would recommend actually writing it out. First, even if you want to put it in your phone, like in notes, in your notes app, that's solid. But after you get clarity on it, then write it down. Okay. Because there's still some power in, being able to write something down. Okay. There's power in that. All right. Now, please implement this in your life. And I would love to see if you actually got value from this, if this actually helped you gain clarity in, what it is your vision is, your goals, your steps, and then the task, all of these, different breakdowns in your life. All right. So do me a favor or not, like the video if you actually got value from this. Comment, your favorite part on the video, share it with somebody that, you may feel that may not have clarity in their life, because there's a lot of people that really don't have clarity in your life. You'll be surprised, because a lot of people are just caught up living the day to day. And a lot of people can't see 5-10 years out. But when you build a vision, it is 5, 10, 20, 30 years out, where you could really build something that you see yourself doing over the course of your life, your lifetime. All right. So let me know. Also follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I would love to interact with the people that actually watch the content, right? Because that's what it's all about, like building a network of like-minded people. And that's what this is all about as well. Not only just the journey of personal development, but doing it with others that find value in the same things that you do. Okay. So would love to connect with everybody out there that is tapping in to the content and is getting value from this. All right. But I love it. I love this shit. This could get 0 views, right? Which is perfectly fine, but I love it, man. But I love y'all if you do see it. All right. So always peace. Peace, love, and abundance. Keep elevating, keep building, keep striving.